So, here we are. This is the all-new creme de la creme Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7 aero road bike for the 2025 season. And in this episode, I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you, should you just go ahead and buy this aero road bike, or should you just consider it? So hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. So before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe because it's gonna help in growing the channel, and of course, if you are already a subscriber, I say thank you. So, as I was speaking, Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7, the all-new, latest, greatest iteration of this bike. This is the fourth generation of the Canyon Aeroad, and as it is now, Canyon is claiming that still this is the fastest road bike in the pro peloton, in the professional racing, the racing you would see at, for example, Tour de France. So in this episode, I will, give you a good buyer's guide for this bike, and we will really see what are you getting for your hard-earned money. So first thing first, let's talk about the question, who is this bike for? So if you are interested in going as fast as possible in a straight line and you want to minimize the drag of your bike, and you want to have all the aerodynamically optimized components on the bike, then definitely this Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7 is the right choice for you. This bike, as it is currently, retails for $5,600, and you have two paint schemes to choose from. One is this, as they call it, crystal white paint scheme. Beautiful classical white with a hint of black paint scheme, and then you have another paint scheme which they call a dark forest, which is kind of I would call it almost a blacked out paint scheme. I don't know if dark forest they meant it should be some kind of dark green. It has a bit of kind of darkish green, but for me it's mostly like a totally blacked out paint scheme. The good thing is that at least you have two paint schemes to choose from when, again, you consider the retail price of this bike at $5,600. We will come back to this retail price of $5,600 because Canyon is always good value for money, but it seems to me that on this kind of lower levels of the bike, especially this Canyon Aeroad CF SLX, this price is kind of decent, but not so cheaper than some of the competitors, and I will mention briefly at the end of this video the newest, latest Trek Madone SL6 Generation 8, which has a retail price of $5,500. So, as you will see, on the lower trim levels of the Canyon bikes, not so much cheaper than the competition. So, okay, let's dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what will you get for your hard-earned $5,600. So we can kick off with the frame and the fork on this bike. So this frame is the Canyon's CF SLX carbon fiber frame, and also the matching CF SLX carbon fiber fork. The frame and the fork are the second tier of the carbon fiber that Canyon can do. So above this level you would have the CFR level of the carbon fiber frames and the forks. So this would be, for example, the level that the professionals would be riding. So this CF SLX is the second tier of carbon fiber frames and the forks. Do I have any complaints about it? Absolutely not. It's going to be perfectly fine. Carbon fiber frame and the fork. In this instance, it also comes with a press fit bottom bracket, 12mm through axles both front and the back, and in this iteration of the bike, as you see, even the 12mm axle endings on the frame and the fork are aerodynamically optimized in the sense that now everything is kind of flush and straight. You don't see the axles anymore, so it is of course designed for the benefit of the nicer airflow around these parts. Also with this carbon fiber frame, Canyon is offering their 6 years warranty, which is pretty decent, you know, nothing special. Some other bike brands, let's say Specialized, Giant, Trek, can offer you a lifetime warranty. So maybe one day, you know, Canyon will also move to that lifetime warranty. Also, with this newest iteration of the Canyon Aeroad, they've worked a lot on slimming down the front of the bike, specifically, of course, the fork area and head tube area, just because this is the, you know, the first part that hits the wind, so they wanted to make it as thin as possible. And you can also see in the fork legs how they became wider and also thinner. Here I also have to mention that Canyon has upgraded some of these bearings and seals inside the head tube, so basically they are claiming that now this will be much better protected from different weather conditions. So is it, you know, water, sand, salt, depending, you know, which kind of conditions you are riding out. So these new kind of seals and bearings should contribute to the longevity of this bike. Now let's talk about the handlebar and the stem, and also saddle and the seat post, because specifically the handlebar and the stem is a bit of the new, you know, kind of secret sauce of this bike that Canyon has developed. So this handlebar and the stem is a one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem. So immediately you need to be aware here that the stem length is fixed depending on the sizing of the bike. So there is no changing of the stem length. So just make sure that will fit you really when you are choosing the right sizing of the bike. But with this handlebar, Canyon is offering a bit of adjustability in the width of the handlebar. It is 50 millimeters, plus minus 50 millimeters, and also you can adjust the height of this stem. I think it's about plus minus 20 millimeters. So also with this iteration of the handlebar, let me just show you, they have developed this new version where you can replace the endings of the handlebar, the drops, and basically this will allow you to run what Canyon calls some kind of a classical general setup and this more aero setup of the drops. You have just 4 bolts which are holding these handlebar endings, and you can kind of flip them, change them. This is a very neat and nice solution. The only thing I will mention here is that I'm not so sure if these aero drops, which are more tilted, are gonna be delivered with your bike, or this is something you need to buy separately. I believe that on this level of the bike, so the CF SLX versions of the bike, you have to buy these drops separately, these aero drops, because you will just get the classical standard, these kind of drops on the bike. But very nice, very neat solution. And again, with this one piece handlebar and the stem, it is always, you know, a proprietary solution. So although you can adjust the width and the height of this handlebar stem solution, there is no choosing the stem length. So this is always going to be a bit of a limiting factor with these types of solutions. Speaking about the seat post and the saddle, in this instance, a very classical carbon fiber seat post from Canyon, which is paired with the Selle Italia saddle. And also what is nice here is that Canyon has changed a little bit where the clamping of the saddle happens, and a bit of the design of this carbon fiber seat post. So definitely there shouldn't be any more kind of slipping of the seat post as some people were reporting with the previous generation. And also I'm glad here to report that when I'm looking at this saddle design, it's a very classical design, nothing proprietary. You can adjust the tilt of the saddle, and you can also adjust the kind of fore and aft of the saddle. This is what I like to see. So very nice, neat, elegant solution. So it's going to be easy to replace if you don't like this saddle. And this seat post, since it's a classical carbon fiber aerodynamically optimized seat post, definitely is going to contribute to, you know, soaking up some of the smaller road bumps. So all in, perfectly fine, no special complaints here from me, but just again make sure that the stem length in a different bike sizes is the stem length that you are satisfied with, because there is no changing of the stem length unless you're gonna buy the new one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and the stem from Canyon. Now we can talk about the Groupset on this bike. So shifter's front mech and the rear mech on this bike, everything is the Shimano's 105 Di2 electronic Groupset. So this is a 12-speed electronic Groupset from Shimano, absolutely perfectly fine, no complaints here from me. I will just mention that the bike comes with the Shimano 105 cassette, which is 1134, excellent choice because you can climb any steep mountains with this cassette, and also the chainring's standard double chainring configuration at the front, and this is 5236 chainrings. The chain, Shimano 12-speed chain, I believe this is from the mountain bike world, M7100, doesn't matter. You can use any kind of Shimano 12-speed compatible chain once when you destroy this one. And also I will mention that the braking system is the Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes front and the back. Now, I see here that braking rotors are superb, Shimano Ultegra braking rotors, so excellent heat dissipation in this instance. And also at the front you will get a 160mm braking rotor, but at the back they are including 140mm braking rotor. I have no clue why manufacturers are doing this, and in my opinion it's totally wrong approach, because this aero road bike, you will easily achieve speeds of 50 kilometers per hour, and then if you are going downhill and you need to brake, this little rotor at the back of 140 millimeters can easily overheat. So I would rather that manufacturers are fitting 160 millimeter braking rotors both front and the back, because the weight penalty is really, you know, totally negligible. We are speaking about grams here, but the heat dissipation of 160mm braking rotor is just so much better than the 140mm braking rotor. So maybe, you know, something in the future to think about of upgrading this rear braking rotor to 160mm like you have on the front, and, you know, keeping the same Shimano Ultegra braking rotors, which are absolutely perfectly fine. Now let's talk about the wheel set on this bike, because again, one of the highlights is definitely this DT Swiss Arc 1600 D-cut wheel set. So this wheel set is a carbon fiber wheel set. 50mm is the rim height, and internally these rims are 20mm. Also, this wheel set, if you would buy it on the open market, would set you approximately 1,250 euros. And I will just mention here that this wheelset is running on the DT Swiss 350 hubs, which are absolutely excellent. They come with the DT Swiss 36 ratchet system, and also the wheelset comes with the DT Swiss aero spokes. Total weight of the wheelset approximately 1,600 grams, and this is a tubeless ready wheelset, so I'm not so sure is it going to be delivered out of the box with a tubeless setup, but I believe that Canyon will sort it immediately out of the box to be tubeless ready. And also I have to mention here that this wheelset is wrapped in the Continental GP5000 STR tires, and these tires are 25mm at the front and 28mm at the back. This is what the spec says, and this is something I would just double check with Canyon. Is this true, or maybe both tires are 28mm? Personally, I wish that both tires are 28mm front and the back, just because you'll have more air volume inside and a smoother ride, and there is no big, you know, aerodynamic penalty if you are running a 25mm tire at the front or 28mm tire at the front. It's totally, again, a negligible difference. Also, this frame and the fork will accept 32mm tires front and the back, and this is what I would definitely advise you in the future. When you destroy these tires, get yourself a 32mm tires front and the back, just because much smoother bike ride and much bigger air volume in those tires. But generally speaking, as it is with these Continental GP5000 STR tires, you know, definitely no complaints from me. They are absolutely superb tire as it is on this bike. So as you see, Canyon has done some improvements on this fourth generation of the Aeroad compared to the previous generation. There's some, smaller tweaks here and there, and also the weight of the bike has dropped approximately, I think, 50 or 70 grams compared with the previous version. So now in this size medium, Canyon is claiming that this bike without the pedals will be approximately 7.9 to 8 kilograms, which again in my book is a very competitive bike weight, considering that this is a aero road bike with 50 millimeter carbon fiber rims from Di2. So all in, I still believe that this is the king of aero road bikes, and I can strongly recommend you to go ahead and buy this bike. But definitely for the majority of the potential buyers, they will immediately consider the newest Trekmadone SL6 Generation 8, which retails for $5,500 US, so a bit cheaper than the Canyon bike. But this Trekmadone SL6 doesn't come with the power meter, while Canyon's Aeroad comes with the single-sided power meter, 4i power meter, which is again absolutely excellent addition to this Canyon Aeroad. And also I have to mention that the Canyon Aeroad is running a much deeper carbon fiber wheels, 50 millimeters versus, I believe, on this Trek bike they are 35 millimeters Bontrager wheels. By the way, I made a special episode about this Trekmadone SL6, so you can watch it, you can find it in my library. And soon I will make a new video where I will go into more details comparing this newest Canyon Aeroad versus the Trekmadone SL range. But all in all, for majority of the buyers, they will definitely consider the Trekmadone SL6 because it is $100 cheaper than the Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7. So this was my point at the beginning. I can strongly recommend you to go for this Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7, stunning bike and super fast aero road bike for $5,600. But definitely, the good value for money or excellent value for money, now the difference between Canyon and the competition, for example Trekmadone, is much slimmer than it used to be. But all in, I would still say that Canyon Aeroad CF SLX 7 as this value for money is still the king of aero road bikes. So this is gonna be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!